Hey everyone, and thank you for joining the Watergraph webinar on effective client reporting. We're just going to give a couple more minutes for everyone to join, and we'll be starting soon. And we're just waiting for my co-host Misha to join, so we'll give her 1 minute to join. And she's here. Hi, Misha.
Hi, Linus.
Lovely to have you on board. Yeah, so let's get started in a minute. Okay, I hope all of you can see the slide and can see us. Can you please confirm in the chat if you can see the slides? Yes, okay, fantastic. Right. So, hi everyone, and thank you for joining the Watergraph webinar about effective client reporting. In this session, we will cover 15 common time-wasting activities that marketing agencies engage in when reporting to clients, and we'll present solutions for overcoming them. The session will be recorded, and we will share the recording with everyone afterwards, so you'll be able to share it with your team. Don't worry about it. And we will also have a Q&A session at the end, but feel free to write your questions and experience in the chat throughout the webinar. So my name is Linus, and I'm VP of Marketing at Watergraph. I have over 12 years of experience in online marketing, and during my career, I have worked with many online marketing agencies. And Watergraph, for those that you don't know, is a marketing data platform that makes marketing performance monitoring and reporting easy. And we worked with thousands of agencies as our customers. And joining me today is Misha Johanna, who's our Senior Customer Success Manager at Watergraph. Hi again, Misha. And Misha worked with hundreds really of marketing agencies during her time at Watergraph, and she will share many real-life examples and observations from her work. Now over to Misha to say a few words.
Thank you, Linus. Hi, everyone. My name is Misha, and I've been with Watergraph for 4 years now. I've definitely had the privilege of working closely with our clients here to help them streamline their reporting process and achieve better outcomes in general. So yeah, as someone who interacts with customers daily, I've definitely seen the challenges that agencies face, whether it's managing data overload, dealing with inefficient process, or just trying to present insights that resonate with their audience. So today I'm here to share some solutions to these challenges and offer practical tips that hopefully you can start implementing right away.
Awesome, awesome. That's exciting. And before we jump into our presentation, we're about to start with a poll to get a sense of how you think are your client reporting processes. So I'm just about to launch a poll right now. You should see that popping up on your screen. And give me 1 moment. Yes, so you should see a poll, and let me know if you can see it. And we want to ask 3 simple questions. How many hours per week does your team spend on reporting to clients? Also, do you have everything automated, or do you still manually collect some data or copy and paste figures to slides? And the third question is, do all your clients read and understand your reports? So we'll just give a couple of more seconds for everyone to answer. I can see some responses coming through. So, okay. And yeah, we'll just give a couple more seconds. I can see most of you answered, but not everyone. Okay, and we're going to end the poll right now, and I will share the results. Let me see if you can see the results. So from the people that answered the poll, we can see that many of you still spend over 60 minutes per client per week when reporting. So if that's the case, stay tuned. We'll be showing you a lot of tips how to make this process more effective. Also, we also see that most of you have something automated, but not everything automated. So once again, stay tuned, and we'll give you practical ideas what else you can automate to save more time. And the most interesting part of the result, do all your clients read and understand your reports? 90% of you answered no, and that's also a common thing what we heard. We hear from our customers, agencies. So definitely, I think this presentation will be of interest to you, and we'll also be sharing tips how you can make your reports more compelling to ensure that you communicate your value and your clients actually read and understand your reports. So let's get started. So again, what we often see is that many of you still find delivering impactful reports for your clients daunting, as also evident from a poll. And as you know, this task is often filled with time-consuming bad practices that drain your team's time and distract you from higher value activities such as strategy, campaign creation, performance monitoring, optimization, all the important stuff that can help you deliver more value. And in our presentation today, we'll highlight 15 of the common time-wasting practices that marketing agencies engage in when reporting to clients, and we'll present for solutions for overcoming them. Now, we'll be showing some screenshots from Watergraph marketing data platform to illustrate our points, but we'll also share a lot of general tips that will be applicable regardless of what platform you're using for client reporting. Yeah, so stay to the very end and learn from our experience of working with thousands of marketing agencies. We'll show you how to streamline your reporting processes, avoid unproductive habits, and maximize efficiency. So without further ado, let's jump into common time wasters and solutions. And the first one is overloading your reports with unnecessary data. Now, sometimes we see that agencies share reports with clients that look something like this. And a report like that may be digestible for your PPC manager when monitoring client campaigns, but is usually a complete overkill for clients that hire you to manage your campaigns. And it's crucial to ensure that you're sending the right information to the right person. And one practical solution that we would advise is to make sure that you discuss with the clients what metrics are the most important to them and include only them to your reports. Next, we would recommend breaking up your reports into sections with tabs to avoid overwhelming clients. And Misha also has a few tips to share from her experience.
Absolutely. I think we definitely should always avoid overwhelming your clients or audience with too much data at once. And instead, we should focus on the metrics that matter most to them. And I think that when it comes to visualization, we can still use colors creatively. It's not like everything has to be black and white, but definitely keep the insights and information clear and straightforward, because less is usually more. And one effective approach here is to divide your report into several tabs, like this example here. So each tab focusing on different data types. So for example, if your client is interested in traffic data, they can go straight to the traffic tab. If they want to focus on results like purchases, for example, they can check the conversions tab. And for insights into how their audience is engaging with the social media presence, then the social engagement tab is the place to go. And if we go to the next slide, there is another example here. And in general, I believe tabs are a great way to structure the information you share with your audience. You can use the first tab of the report, let's say, to present the overall data, let's say for the summary, the top KPI metrics and whatnot. So this will give your audience a clear snapshot of the most important information right away. And then if they want to dive into specifics like data on certain locations or maybe certain campaigns, certain channels and so on, they can just easily navigate to the other tabs in the report. Again, like this example, right? So each location or state that is included in this particular chart, they all have their own tabs in case the audience wants to have details specific to those locations or states.
Sounds good, Misha. And I'm just noticing that for some reason, the images are not showing across the full size of a slide. So just a heads up that we'll be sharing this presentation to you afterwards as well. So if, you'll get kind of a full size presentation as well. And the second issue that we often see is more of an internal one. Some agencies don't group their reports by clients, and that can quickly become an issue, especially if you have a lot of clients and create several reports per client.
I totally agree here. When all kinds of reports, whether they're monthly, weekly, or maybe for different channels, for different clients, when all of them are piled into just one location without any organization whatsoever, it can quickly become chaotic and very hard to manage in the long run. So what we suggest here, if we go to the next slide, we can basically store and organize reports in folders by client, or maybe by brand, by location, or even by account manager, for example. So it's going to be much easier to see how many clients that you have onboarded and how many reports you have for each one. So this will keep things tidy and saves time when you need to find or update specific reports. And another tip here is for data source connections. So it's actually even better if you can organize and assign your data source connections also per folder, because not only does this keep everything more organized and neat for yourself, but it also helps you prevent the risk of, for example, accidentally selecting the wrong data source connection for a different client, because the last thing you want to do is leaking one client's data to another.
Yeah, that's some great tips, Misha. That's some great tips. And by the way, as I mentioned previously, feel free to write your questions in the chat, and we will have a Q&A session at the end, and we'll be able to answer. But if you also have some experiences to share, we'd love to hear from you. And the common issue that we see that some marketing agencies engage in is that we don't use template and start all their client reports from scratch.
Imagine having to create 100 reports from scratch. Just think about how much time that would take, right? So when you have a specific layout or set of charts or channels that you will be using for multiple clients, it is definitely much more efficient to save them as report templates. So this will save you from having to spend hours always building your reports from scratch. And your reporting tool, if you're already using one, they will most likely have some templates already that you can use as a starting point, but you can surely modify it further or create your own templates.
Nice, nice, Misha. And just a heads up for the audience, but we also have a templates gallery on the Watergraph website that's public facing. So if you're short of ideas how your reports could look for different data sources, feel free to check out our template gallery, and we'll also include the link to that in the follow-up. And the bonus tip that we have is to link templates that you create a master template. And some of the more advanced platforms like Watergraph allows you to do this.
For sure. This is my favorite, actually, because again, imagine having 3 or 10 or even 50 reports for different clients, but they're all using the same report template. And now fast forward 2 months, let's say you decide you want to just add one chart to all of these 50 reports. So if each one of your 50 reports stands alone and isn't linked to the master template, you would have to open those reports individually or one by one, basically making the same change over and over. However, if your reports are linked to the master template, you can simply just open the template, update it, and the changes that you make to that particular template will automatically push through all the linked reports that you have. So for comparison here, editing 50 reports one by one could easily take you an hour or even more, most likely more, right? But by updating the master template and these 50 reports are linked to it, you can achieve the same result in maybe just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, that's a great tip. And from what we see, this feature is at least by our clients fairly underutilized. And another bonus tip would be to save your commonly used charts and tables as templates too, so you can reuse them when creating your report. Basically, again, don't be starting your reports from scratch. Templates whatever you can in your tool.
That's right. Yeah, in addition to saving full report templates, it's definitely a great practice to also save individual charts or tables as templates themselves. This can save you even more time. So for example, the next time you're creating a report and you need a mix of charts or tables that you have previously used in other reports, you can simply drag and drop these chart templates into your new report.
And the other no-no, then if you want to make your reporting processes as efficient as they can be, is any sort of manual data collection and reporting. And what we've seen from a poll, that's also the case with attendees of this webinar. Same we see with our clients, that some marketing agencies automate data collection and reporting just for some of their data sources and report on others manually. Again, in this day and age, with the capabilities of current tech, there should be absolutely no need for any sort of manual data collection and reporting. So we highly advise to automate it for all of your data sources, not just for some. And yeah, as mentioned, the solution is simple. Automate it for all of your sources.
Totally agree. Just automate data collection and reporting for all your marketing data sources whenever possible. Data platforms usually offer native integrations with popular marketing tools like Google Analytics for Google Ads, Facebook Ads, and so on. And this will save you a lot of time. And even if a native integration isn't available in your data platform, you can consider using workarounds here, like visualizing data from Google Sheets or Google BigQuery, or even integrating via a custom API. So automation will always help you reduce manual effort and also minimize errors.
Great tips, Misha. And yeah, again, from our experience, not everyone is thinking about using these workarounds. Usually they see maybe they don't have a connector or their platform doesn't integrate with some source. There are various workarounds that you could do to get the data in your reports. And another bonus tip for us is to design your dashboards to look like PowerPoint slides. Now, again, sometimes what we see is that agencies create dashboards, but then also create slides on top of that. And every time they report to clients, they copy and paste figures to slides and spend hours on perfecting these slides. So again, one recommendation from us is to create a report that does look like slides. And again, that's definitely possible these days.
For sure. So you can simply just open that report itself and use that as a presentation, so you don't have to copy them to your PowerPoint slides and whatnot. And also you can think of designing your reports like what you would do with slides on PowerPoint. For example, each slide should focus on one key insight at a time. So you can make sure that your audience remember that particular insight. Because by focusing on one insight at a time, you make it easier for the people who is seeing your presentation to grasp and retain the information as well.
Yeah, and make sure to involve your designer in the dashboard creation process. Make him your best buddy. And again, many platforms such as Photograph, but there are many others, have impressive opportunities for white labeling and customization. So rather than creating slides separately, you can just share the dashboard with real-time data that actually look like slides and add your insights onto it rather than constantly creating slides. And the other common time waster is to send out your recurring reports manually. And feel free to let us know in the chat if you're sending out your reports to clients manually or if you have this process automated. I would love to hear from you about the actual sending of the reports. So if you could write a comment in the chat, that would be great. Don't be shy.
Do you send your reports to your clients one by one and attach PDF to the emails manually each month or each week?
Yeah, manually. Okay. Okay, so some automated, some manually. Sounds good. Sounds good. So again, manually. Interesting. So again, what we recommend wherever possible, you should automate the delivery of your regular reports to save time. If it's a report that you send every week or every month, again, no reason not to automate it.
Absolutely. Manually sending out reports, I think it's only manageable when you're dealing with just a few clients. Okay, if you only have to send 1 or 2 reports, maybe that's okay. But as your client list grows, the more reports you need to create and send, whether it's 30 or maybe 300. So this manual sending will quickly become impractical. So automation is the key here to handle large volumes in efficient way. And here we actually have an example from one of our clients who has automated several types of reports for their biggest client. So yeah, by setting up automated delivery like this, you can ensure timely and consistent reporting without the manual hassle of sending the reports one by one.
And then bonus tip on automating your report sends is to include a PDF attachment of the report to your automated email. And I've just seen a comment, someone sends a PDF. So that's an interesting comment there.
That's right. Yeah, I think while sending your report as a link via email is convenient, I know that many people still prefer having a PDF version of the report, whether it's just for saving, purposes or maybe even printing purposes, right? So including a PDF attachment in your automated report emails will provide your clients with a, let's say, ready to save and printable copy of their report. It's a small detail that can make a big difference here.
Yeah. Sounds good. And I just see a comment from Charles Suvin. Yeah, you're using a software. We would love to hear from you what software you're using for that. And yeah, we have a lot of more time wasters to present, so we'll keep going. And another common practice that's very likely to cause headaches is for you to use lots of custom formulas and scripts to manipulate your data. So, your custom formulas and the code, first of all, takes a long time to write and debug, and it can break easily when you add more sources or edit more reports. So yeah, we have some suggestions here.
Yeah, that's right. I think that creating custom formulas and scripts to manipulate data can be quite a hassle, especially if, let's say, you're not a data analyst or don't have strong background in data management, which is fine. But this practice usually leads to time-consuming and complex process that can be very challenging to manage. So the recommendation here is to use tools that is designed to help you transform and organize your data easily. Code-free, let's say. So for example, instead of here we have an example of two tables where the before table here is listing all the countries that you have in your data. So here, if you want to transform them into something more simplified, more digestible to your clients, you can group them into categories like tier 1, tier 2, and so on. And the same approach can be applied to other types of data. It could be like campaign names, it could be ad names, and so on. So it's going to make it easier for your audience to basically digest and understand the key insights. And yeah, especially if you're using a lot of kind of like internal abbreviations or some marketing terms that maybe your audience are not familiar with, organizing and transforming your data this way will definitely make it easier for them to actually understand what you're presenting.
Absolutely. Look, getting insights from organized data is much easier when sharing long lists of landing pages or campaigns to your clients. So think how you can group the data for clear insights, and also leverage tools that make it easy for you to do it rather than using tons of formulas or manual work. And on to number 7. So not using good naming conventions for your campaigns can be another common time sink.
Right. This is kind of related to the previous time waster as well. So especially when you want to organize and transform your data, and when you work with multiple channels, poor naming conventions can make it challenging to blend and organize your data effectively. So to avoid confusion, it's very crucial to establish consistent keywords for grouping data in the long run. For instance, you can use clear and standardized names for campaigns rather than, let's say, a variety of internal codes or abbreviations again. So good naming conventions can simplify data organization and data manipulation. It's going to make your work more efficient and less prone to errors as well in the long run.
Absolutely. And coming back to the previous example where we showed data grouping, unless you use some good naming conventions, it will be a pain to group that data. And on to number 8. Another bad habit is not using source or report level filters, but setting up data filtering in each table and chart separately each time.
That's right. Imagine you have 20 different charts and tables in your report, and then you need to filter all of them. Let's say by a specific campaign or a specific location, source medium, channel grouping if you work with GA4. So applying that same filter to each of the 20 elements in your reports individually can be incredibly time consuming.
Yeah.
So what we suggest here,
No, it's fine.
go ahead, Linus.
Keep going, Misha.
Sure. If we go to the next slide here, we have an example of one of our clients who actually organized their report with separate sections for Google Analytics for data. So one section, or let's say one tab, is data from the whole Google Analytics for account, and then another section or another tab is only for organic search data, and then another section or another tab for social data. So instead of applying the filters to each chart or each table individually, it is far more efficient to apply those filters at the source level or the source variant level. So this approach will save you time and ensures consistency across your entire report.
And not configuring the default settings in your reporting tool can also end up wasting a lot of time if you need to add your logo, for example, or currency manually every time you build the report.
Yeah, configuring default settings in your reporting tool can significantly enhance the personalization and branding of your reports. For example, you can set up different color themes for each client. You can use their signature colors for the charts, icons, and your fonts to just make the reports feel more tailored for each client. And alternatively, you can also set your agency's logo as the default theme to strengthen your brand presence here, or even combine it with your client's logo for, again, a personalized touch. Right, and also when you automate reports for weekly or monthly delivery, for example, you can also customize the email template itself. You can set up a default email theme that includes your logo, your email address, and any necessary messaging. So this ensures that your reports not only look professional, but also reinforce your branding every time they are sent to your client.
And another mistake we see agencies making is not leveraging bulk actions. Again, if your tool allows them, many do, and editing each chart and table one by one at a time.
Right, so definitely make sure to take advantage of bulk actions whenever possible to streamline the workflow here. Just check if your reporting tool offers that bulk actions such as maybe duplicating, reloading, removing, changing source, apply filters to different charts or different tables at once. So using this particular feature can save you a lot of time and effort when managing multiple charts, multiple reports or data sets at the same time.
And if you're doing client reporting, then you must be monitoring the performance of your client campaigns as well. And not doing this holistically and efficiently is another common time waster that we see. A solution would be to leverage a data platform that enables you to easily blend data and monitor the performance of all your clients' campaigns and locations in a single dashboard. And again, from what we see, a lot of our clients still kind of don't do this commonly. They review the performance of all their clients separately, but we would suggest, again, building a single dashboard with an overview of all your client performance and all the KPIs that really matter.
That's right. Yeah, I think instead of reviewing each client's performance one by one for internal monitoring, right? You can use tools that allows you to monitor all of your clients' performance at one go. So like this example here, it's a bird's eye view of performance of multiple clients. And this approach lets you compare clients against each other. And then you can set benchmarks, you can set up targets or limits per every client and every KPI metric that you work with. And in general, you gain a comprehensive view of the overall performance of your agency. So a holistic view like this helps you identify trends, first of all, and then you can spot issues early, and you can manage your clients' brands or locations even more effectively.
And unnecessary ad hoc meetings for report discussion is another common time waster. Like, obviously, you want to have regular touch points with the clients to review the performance, but you need to ensure that these meetings are productive. And Misha has a couple good suggestions on this topic.
Right. To reduce the need for meetings to discuss reports, you can add comments and context directly to your reports, like the example here. So this helps your audience quickly understand and interpret the data. Along with providing a written summary, you can also consider recording a short Loom video highlighting the main insights of the reports. This approach can be a more efficient alternative to live meetings, saving time for both you and your clients. But that being said, this doesn't mean you should skip meetings with your clients entirely. It's still important to meet regularly, let's say once a month, to discuss data, findings, and strategies in detail. However, if your client just has a couple of questions about specific charts or some ad hoc queries, we think that recording a Loom video can be a more convenient and less overwhelming alternative to scheduling a live meeting.
And on to number 13, we're nearing the end, so I hope you have your questions ready or your experiences. So responding to every client request for report customization can also cause endless frustration for your team and waste a lot of your team's time. Now, I have some experience of that. Then I still years ago used to do lots of manual reporting. I guess I was working as a marketer in-house, but our CEO would constantly come each week and ask for some changes in our dashboards, and that would be a huge time drain. And obviously, we see something like this happens in the relationship between agency and the client. So again, make sure if you suffer from this, make sure to steer the conversation to focus on the metrics that matter. And again, that helps if your reports are not overloaded with data, and ensure that your account managers, if they're in the middle, are briefed so that they really understand why the report was built in a certain way and why specific metrics were added. And please tell us in the chat if that's something you experience and clients are asking you to modify the reports frequently, that's causing you pain.
Yeah, I think that while accommodating customization requests can be feasible for higher paying clients, let's say, it's not always practical if you do that for every single client. So I totally agree with you, Linus. Prioritizing and managing these requests based on client value, let's say, or report relevance, it can help streamline the workflow, make everything more efficient.
And we're nearing the end. Number 14, depending again on how complex your tech stack is, but for client reporting, switching back and forth between data connection, transformation, and visualization tools can become very inefficient. And that sometimes, again, we see maybe more for prospects doing, using multiple reporting platforms in their tech stack without native integration. And like, for example, Looker Studio is still not very flexible and require third-party connectors if you want to connect non-Google sources, and they can often break, for example.
Right. Switching between multiple reporting platforms is very inefficient, prone to errors. And also there's just no like one source of truth, right? It can be confusing for everyone to have to jump from one platform to another. So in this case, to simplify a workflow, you can use tools that offer native integrations with your data sources. This will help you consolidate your reporting and make sure you have consistency as well, and saving you time, most importantly.
Yeah, this is definitely worth considering a one tool that can do it all, rather than using 3, 4, sometimes even complicated platforms in your reporting stack. And on to the last one, our final tip is, again, a mistake would be using tools that are difficult to use and take a long time to train your team on. And please tell us in the chat what reporting platform are you using, and what was your learning curve with that? because I know from experience, if you're trying to get your team up to speed with creating reports using Looker or Tableau, the learning curve can be months and still cause frustrations unless you have data analysts on your team that kind of handle all of the stuff. And yeah, like, let's face it, some tools that are popular in the market really are cumbersome and difficult to use.
Yeah, that's right. And if it requires extensive training, it will just slow down the team's productivity overall, right? And here we actually have an example of data blending feature from Looker Studio, which I personally heard a lot of people find it very complex and cumbersome. So in contrast, I think that a more user-friendly and visually appealing platform is going to make it easier for your team to create and interpret reports with minimal training. And opting for intuitive tools not only boosts your team's efficiency here, but also makes the reporting process itself more enjoyable for your team members, which is also important.
And that's all we have. Thank you so much for many of you staying till the very end. And I hope you found the session insightful. And now it's time for the Q&A. So feel free to ask myself and Misha anything that's on your mind, or any other feedback that you have for us.
I see that we have a comment from Chaosu some minutes before. So Chaosu is currently using a software called Social Pilot and have some problems. And currently seems like Chaosu is trying Watergraph at the moment. All right.
Okay, and
to hear.
I see we have a question. With so much data available, how can agencies determine which metrics are truly valuable to include in client reports? And how do they avoid overwhelming clients with too much information? I guess I can answer that. So obviously you need to first of all report on metrics that matter the most. So obviously, you don't want to be focusing on too many vanity metrics. You're being hired by your clients to be the experts and use, I guess, these more of input metrics for yourself. But from our experience, obviously, clients care about bottom of a funnel metric. And the recommendation would be to include these in your reports first and foremost. But yeah, look, if in doubt, please have this dialogue with your clients and see what is really the most important for them, and maybe a question to ask: hey, what metrics from your reports are not so important? So yeah, so I think that would help to avoid overwhelming clients with too much information. And
we have another question here from Eddie Vandenberg, only on pricing. Can you tell me more about source credits? Thank you, Eddie, for the kind comment. So for pricing, maybe our team can get back to you after the call. But if you ask about the source credits, so on Watergraph, you can use your source credits for data source connection. You can also use that to set up data transfer. That's another feature that we have if you want to transfer your historical data to a Google BigQuery account. And we have another feature called Organize, where you can create source blend. Basically, it's a feature that allows you to combine data that you have from multiple sources or even multiple channels, and you can use the source credits for that as well.
Yeah, so to summarize what Misha said, the source credit is basically a pricing unit that we use for each of your data sources. And from our experience, again, most platforms on the market would have some sort of similar scoring where they charge you for data sources or integrations, but for us, we do it based on data sources. So a Facebook account, for example, would be a data source. So, and
Right.
Shaw just asked, where can I start using your software? So our software is cloud-based, and if you want to start using it, feel free to head to watergraph.com and request a free trial or a product showcase. So we do no obligation 7-day trial for folks that want to test our platform. And if you are not sure if you want to test yet, if you just want to see the platform, again, we'll provide you a product showcase, and you can request that on watergraph.com. And yeah, I see we have another question. How can you balance the need for customization in client reports with the efficiency of standardized reporting processes? That's a very good question. And I like my own personal take would be is that you should have your core reporting approach standardized into templates. And then perhaps to some clients, more of a higher value clients, you can make slight adjustments based on their custom needs. But you know, if you're like an SEO agency, I assume it shouldn't be too difficult to standardize, because you will not no doubt want to report on your rankings, your impressions, your traffic. So yeah, I would recommend to have a strong template to start with that works for your agency, and then if necessary for some clients where it really makes sense to customize that, and also add obviously when sharing these reports comments.
Right, and if I may add to that as well, relating it to the feature that we have on Watergraph, when you can link your reports to a master template. So when you link these reports to a template, although in general, let's say the charts and the tables will stay the same as what you have in the master template, you can technically still personalize each one of the reports by providing different report summaries. You can apply different filters, different reporting period, and so on. So there is still some customization or personalization that you can do for your linked reports, while at the same time, you still have them connected to the master template for an easier updates in the future.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And yeah, I think that's all we had for today. Is there a 7-day trial after meeting? Yes, absolutely. We can do a product showcase for you and still give you 7 or maybe even 14 days to test the platform. If you need more time, we can be quite flexible with that. Obviously, not indefinite, but yeah. Okay. Any more questions? Right. If not, thank you so much for your time, and see you in future webinars.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.